Welcome back, YouTube. We are now on to our 7th educational series video, and this episode will entail hard truths about how fat loss or dieting phases may often feel a little bit boring. And we're going to delve into why this is perfectly normal. I feel like anything that you do on repetition over time, without maybe seeing instant results, will naturally feel a little bit boring, okay? And a lot of people will say things like, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing every day. And this is a very big kind of struggle for most people. You know, unless you are an experienced like bodybuilder or dieter or anything, you've been in the game for a while, you understand that this is part of the process. But when new people do embark on a fitness journey, like fat loss or muscle building, it is very common for them to have the mindset of, this feels very repetitive. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, this is what is required. Fat loss, basically thrives in routine. Okay, you cannot wing a fat loss phase by any means. You can't have two dissimilar weeks or two dissimilar meals from, week to week. It has to look pretty identical, and you only will make changes when necessary. And I feel like a lot of people, when they do start a dieting phase, they will continually try and look to add new form of stimulus to make things more exciting, or to feel like it's a different novel stimulus each time that they're doing something. And I've tried this myself before in the past. You'll start a diet with the best interest at heart. You'll aim for maybe like 2 or 3 pounds a week. You won't get that 2 or 3 pounds within the first week or the second week, so then you add more into it, or you change more because you just feel like, if I'm doing more, then this will obviously get me a better result and a quicker result. And for a lot of people, a longer prep will be more beneficial for most, because although it's going to take longer, in terms of things like actually retaining the muscle that you've probably worked quite hard to build within a building phase, it means you don't have to really bury yourself in the ground. And the risk that you run with these short fat loss, short fat loss phases can be good if it's like a mini cut environment, or if it's just genuinely just to tidy up for 6 weeks before a holiday or something. But if you're looking at achieving a very high standard level of result, longevity and time will give you the best result possible. Okay, I found that out this year after doing a 27 or 28 week prep. Okay, my previous longest prep I think was about 16 weeks, so an extra 10 weeks on top of that. For a lot of people, be like, no, not a chance of doing that. But the best result came from that. My best ever physique came from that. So fat loss thrives in routine, and that goes for the same meals, not changing them, chopping them up, swapping different food sources in week to week. By all means, quantity and volume of food might come down, or it might change dependent on whether you're doing a diet break or a refeed, anything like that. But in terms of the actual meals, try and keep them the same, Training days, and this isn't just the same split, but if you can, try and keep your training days on the same days as well, because in previous videos we've spoken about the importance of keeping a very predictable environment for your body. Okay, so if you're keeping your training days on the same days every week, your body's almost instantly kind of ready for that session. It knows when it's going to rest, it knows when it needs to be fired up to train. And this kind of delves deeper into things like the central nervous system. So it's very important to try and keep that routine. Same sleep, same step targets every single day. And again, this is where people find it boring, and this is the harsh truth of it. To an outsider looking in, unless you've done this before, or you've got a coach who can get you that result if you just put your trust in them, for a lot of people looking from the outside in, it's fucking hell, you're doing the same shit day in, day out. And this is where a lot of people struggle, because without sounding too harsh, most people's mindsets aren't broad enough to see the bigger picture. And this is why a lot of people are held back with their physique journey. You'll see the same guy or girl that's going to your gym still, and you saw them, they've been there since you've been there, 4, 5, 6 years ago plus, and they look and are still doing the exact same. And this is why sometimes you might have a friend or a family member who gets a coach, and then all of a sudden after 12, 16, 20 plus weeks, they look completely different, and they're in the best shape of their lives, because people don't really know how to do it properly. And same habits as well, and this can go for again, going obviously back to bedtime and wake time routine, but just keeping everything from a habit standpoint consistent. What you do throughout your day with your daily habits, keep that the same as well. It's not this is where it says at the bottom, it's not a rut, it's just structure. I think a lot of people will call it boring. These people also won't be in good shape or be probably very happy with their lives, which probably sounds a bit harsh, but generally people that say, oh, you've got such a boring routine, it's a structured routine, and the way that they're saying it's boring is a kind of a representation of how they view their life. And if other people outsiders see that you're doing something that's repetitive, but also progressive and making you a better version of yourself, of course they're going to throw the boring card out there. If your days feel a bit repetitive, sorry to tell you, good. That is what a consistency is. If your day, on paper, if you were to map it out, looks very similar from week to week, month to month, good. You're doing a good job, okay? By all means, things may change in terms of like output, input, whatever phase you're in, it might require different, intensifiers or pulling back phases, etc. But generally, if your days are looking very similar, you're probably on the right track to a good result. Results come from repeating the right actions, not constantly changing the plan like most people do. And if you walked into the gym, my gym, on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Friday or a Saturday at 1:30 on the first 3 days and about 10 o'clock on the Saturday, you would see me at the exact same time doing the exact same session, the exact same exercise order every single week, probably for the past year and for the next year and beyond. That is consistency, okay? It's not going into the gym maybe on a Monday, or I might try and squeeze it in on a Wednesday, maybe not Wednesday, maybe Friday, going in and then just kind of grabbing whatever machine's available, or going in and I fancy training a bit of biceps today. That's not progress. Which takes us on nicely to our next slide, which is boring gets results, chaotic gets excuses. So this goes back to what I just said. If you're constantly chasing excitement, new diets, workouts, or quick hacks, like I'd say 90% of people do, you're never going to give anything time to work. And this, again, the biggest thing, if I could make one whole video on just time and patience, it'd be boring. But that is literally it. Like, when you have skin in the game, I've been going to the gym now, I probably started going when I was 13, 14, so like close to 15 years, yeah? I always wanted to look pretty much how I looked, just gone post shows, or how I looked on stage. That took me from the age of 13, obviously some people watching this aren't going to be 13, but that took me nearly 15 years or over 15 years to get to where I always wanted to be. And even now, I always want to be further ahead, okay? So to put it into perspective, just if you're going to do this, don't see it as a quick fix. Don't just be like, I want to get in shape once, even though everyone in the world should get in shape at least once. But if you're serious about longevity of progress, then you're going to be going to the gym anyway. I always say this to people. If you're going to the gym anyway, you may as well get something from it. You may as well at least get, a step closer each day to where you actually want to be. So time is everything. Next slide. Your job isn't to be entertained, it's to execute. Like I said to you before, if you're looking for this new exciting program each week, or this new, recipe that you've seen on TikTok, or these new, I've got one downstairs, so I can't really say too much about this, but the creamy ninjas that are out at the minute, if you keep this is new, this might work, if you keep having that mindset and approach to everything, that's literally what you are doing. You're chopping and changing the plan all the time. You're not giving your body or time or yourself, that runway that you need to adjust. So just stick to the basics. It's boring for most people, but again, this is why most people aren't in shape or jacked or in the best shape of their lives, because boring stuff doesn't sell. Boring stuff isn't sexy. Okay, so if you want to enjoy your results, then just embrace the boring process that gets you there. And I'm throwing the word boring about it's as boring as you make it. I love my routine, I love my training, I love my foods, I love the same foods every day. It's just how you make them enjoyable. I think it's the most important thing. In the gym, for example, that for me, my gym sessions it's like a game. I love to gamify things in life. Okay, so for the gym for me, that logbook, wherever it is, that is my challenge for the day. That's the game. I want to beat the reps that I did in the previous session. I want to get stronger. That's the game for me. The foods, how well I can stick to my foods, whether it be scale what you're looking at or body composition, that's a game for me. If I can stick to them, I know I'm going to look better. Okay, and boring as well in terms of the food side of things, like chicken, rice, and broccoli. It sounds boring, but when you add, I think I've mentioned this so many times on YouTube, when you add specifically Aldi's all-purpose seasoning to your chicken, wow, that is a chef's kiss meal from me. So yeah, but it's as boring as you make it. But if you see it as boring, you're probably not going to get very far. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. So this is a client of mine, Ben, who's just recently completed a photo shoot. Incredible package, and that will be going up on the next YouTube actually, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and the transformation will be dropping over the next few weeks. Ben said, and you'll see on the video of his testimonial at the end, that he said he used to feel a bit stuck, but once he stopped chasing variety and followed the plan, the scales or the progress started to come. So take that as you want. So just to kind of summarize and wrap up this video, fat loss isn't meant to be exciting every single day. You know, fat loss is a very, if done correctly, slow and gradual kind of process, and we can't choose when the body fat comes off. But what we can choose is our daily actions to get us towards that goal. So every time you make a decision in anything in life, but if it's specifically towards fat loss in this video, everything you do from day to day, whether you hit your steps, whether you stick to your meal plan, whether you show up at the gym and progress in the gym, whether you don't go out and drink every single weekend, most, and probably a lot more, all of these things, and your sleep, everything else, water, etc., etc., all of these things, what you do is either a step closer towards your end goal, your desired goal, or it's just probably keeping you where you are, or even worse, a step back. So the less guesswork, the faster the results, okay? Repetition equals progress, okay? And like I say, this video probably won't do too well because it's not what most people want to hear. When people look for YouTube videos, it's like how to lose 20 pounds in the quickest way possible, how to get in shape in the best way, in the quickest way possible. Everything's just quick. And I've said this again on numerous videos. In a world where everything is so at our kind of, availability, and it's just like instant, and I always use the examples of like takeaways, Just Eat, Deliveroo, Amazon Prime, watching a movie, everything that we want nowadays is pretty much bang, straight to our door or straight to us. Anything, like most things. And this is why I love doing what I do and working with the people that I do, and physique development and just general personal development, because you can't just get that straight away. You have to earn that. You have to put the repetition in to get there. And I'm just going to pause this quickly because there was a really good quote that I saw the other day. Consistency is the currency of credibility, and you can't buy that. You earn it. And that kind of goes with everything, really. Competence builds confidence. Confidence builds clarity. Clarity moves you forwards. And I'm going to leave you with that. So thank you, Callum Raystrick, for that lovely quote. Might not be yours. Might be ChatGPT for all I know. But it does hold a lot of truth. And yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, as always, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe leave a suggestion for the next video. That would be great. Because the more that I'm doing these, they do keep coming, to fruition. They come into the front of my mind. But if there's anything specific, because I noticed some of the psychology ones do a lot better in terms of engagement and views than maybe like the how to get in the best shape of your life videos. So if there's anything specific you want to watch, comment below, let me know. Like, this is a two-way thing, guys. It's not just me producing content for you. You can have an input, and there's not many places that you can do that. So yeah, thank you for watching.